Hi there, welcome to Terraland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Libra energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row will be high vibe Libra energy. The bottom row is a more worldly focused or a more shadowy or fearful Libra energy. It could be a battle that people are having within themselves because, we live in a world of duality. We have a dualistic nature. And to live our life differently means that we have to detach from some old ways of being and things that we could love and things that we're comfortable with. And so it could be a struggle within people. And so they're battling between themselves of what to do. But there's some people in the world who have definitely learned some life lessons and they can't live their life the way they were living it before. They've seen some truth, have more insight, have more clarity, have learned to love and believe in themselves, and they're moving forward differently with or without people. It's kind of like when you shed a layer of your more immature or indulgent or whatever way of being, and you just don't look at life the same anymore. You've grown up in some way, and some other people haven't looked at life that way yet, haven't learned those lessons, and they're not ready to free themselves. And some of those people will be in the more worldly or shadowy way. We all learn lessons at different times in life. We have different fears. Some people are more caught up in the world about money and materialism or self-centeredness or ego, and, we come into contact with all these different people to get clear about what our truth is versus what other people's truth is. And so let's go see what's going on. So yeah, the high vibe energy is the Pisces Hangman card. Oops, let me turn down the camera. Is the Pisces Hangman card, which is about being enlightened to the truth, having expanded your perception of yourself and the world around you and what you believe is possible. And the only other card on their line that's showing itself is the Star card. I have hope and faith and belief in my dreams. And where I've been and how I've been living my life, or the people I've been working with or in relationship with, we maybe have different dreams. They might harness shadowy Aquarius, shadowy Pisces energy, where they kind of operate more from pride and ego. They might have a different dream that it's all about money and materialism and status and image. That's the most important thing, is to look like a shining star in the world. Don't you want to stay stuck in a relationship with me because we have those things? Isn't that enough for you? And some people are like, there's more to life than having the things of the world. If I don't have love, it's a resounding gong. I've been enlightened to the truth. And I could have been kind of caught up in my ego and all about the world and caught up in the illusion of the world. Pisces energy is also about getting caught up in the illusions of the world. And some people have seen through the illusion. When we wake up to see through the illusion of like our own fear, our own insecurity, our own emotionally defensive, self-protective nature, our more thinking, oh, if I just indulge in all the things of the world, won't I be happy? If we don't have love, we got things. And some people have been awakened to that truth, are becoming awakened to that truth, and some of the people in their life aren't. The reason for the reading, for the people who are still in a more worldly Libra energy or shadowy Libra energy, we all think how we're living our life at any given moment in time. We think it's just and fair or we wouldn't be doing it, right? So there's some people who are still, their long-term goal in life is still about the world. It's about the image and the status and the money and the materialism, or me, indulging me. And the cards that theirs is showing is the Three of Cups, the Seven of Swords, and the Five of Cups. The Seven of Swords they're both the Star, and the Seven of Swords are both Aquarius energy. Again, we can get in relationship with people, and I think generally people try to present themselves as being a high vibe person, but it's just like an illusion they create. So people will be in relationship with them. They really harness more shadowy energy. And they could be people who live more from their mind than their heart. don't want to see the truth in the Two of Swords. No, I don't want to see the truth. I don't want to be illuminated to the truth. I don't want to look at life from a higher perspective. They might be people who think there is nothing else to aspire to in the world than what the world says, or to think that if you get in relationships with people, that workplace or that family should be the center of attention, that everyone should put aside their pride and ego for the better good of the institution, And they're like, I have a problem with that. Because I like to think I'm supposed to be the center of attention. Everyone else is supposed to put aside their pride and ego, but not me. Some people have a lot of growing up to do because they're very self-centered. They think everything, it's all about them. They create this illusion, oh no, I'm enlightened to the truth. I'm not prideful. I'm not egotistical. I'm not selfish and greedy and blah, blah, blah. And they are. But if they were to get in a relationship with you, it would look like they're victorious and successful. They're a shining star in the world. But then you wonder, why do I feel stuck in a relationship with this person? Why doesn't it seem to grow and mature itself? Just like we as human beings should grow and mature ourselves and put aside some of our more immature, more childish, self-centered, whatever ways of being. We should do that. A relationship should grow and mature over time too. And then we can get in a relationship or a workplace with people like this. And it's like, I thought everybody said that they tried to see things from other people's perspectives, that they're not stubborn and prideful and egotistical. They're not self-centered. Why do I feel stuck in this relationship? Like it's not growing and maturing itself. And that's kind of when we could realize that some of the people that we're in relationship with never deal with some regrets they have of the past, relationships in their life that maybe didn't work out, that instead of working through those things and seeing the truth, where they go within and gain insight and understanding about why some of those relationships didn't work out. Well, we have to look at why didn't those relationships work out? We have to be willing to see the truth. How did I contribute to that relationship not working out? Did I have lessons to learn? Was I kind of full of myself? Hadn't dealt with my past pain and heartbreak, and those issues kind of caused a problem in the relationship? Was I lacking self-awareness? Was I not willing to put in work and effort to heal myself and help other people heal? Some of the people that are in shadowy energy, they are people who are it's all about the money and the materialism and the status and the image. And then they have relationships that don't work out. Those people no longer want to have anything to do with them. Those people have seen the truth that, this person's all about ego and image and money and materialism. And they live more from their mind than their heart. They don't want to see the truth. They don't go within to gain self-awareness about how they conduct themselves in a relationship, which could be, I'm not truthful. I'm not authentic. I create this illusion so people will get in a relationship with me, but it's all more like mental strategy when you live more from your mind than your heart. They're holding the Five of Swords. I want a dream to come into reality too, but I have a problem about the truth. And the truth is that a person should put in work and effort to be self-aware of when they're being deceptive and manipulative, when they're being self-centered, stubborn, prideful, egotistical, using their emotions manipulatively in a relationship to get what they want. And some people, that's how they've lived their life all their life. And they don't want to see the truth about it within themselves. So when those relationships end, And other people are no longer communicating with them because those people feel betrayed by them, because the Queen of Swords is Aquarius energy also. They created this illusion: I am willing to work with you to bring a dream into reality. I'm not prideful and egotistical. I'm willing to try to see things from your perspective. And they're hoping to emotionally manipulate people to bring this dream into reality. It's good for their ego and their image and their status, but they never plan to put in work and effort to deal maybe with their own self-centeredness. Like, I am defensive to emotionally growing and maturing myself. Some people look very successful in the world. They could be very attractive. They could have money. They could be charming. They could be charismatic. They could have a lot of social clout or something. And for those reasons, they think, well, because I have these things, I don't think I have to grow and mature myself emotionally. And if you aren't willing to kind of emotionally invest in me and be like the King and Queen of Pentacles is the only married through the decks, if you're not willing to be a partner to me, letting me be deceptive and manipulative and be in denial of the truth, then you became enlightened to the truth, well, then I'm defensive to you because you've been enlightened to the truth. Some people have this illusion about themselves. Some of you could have been dealing with a narcissist. They're very full. They're very sure they're all these wonderful traits and characteristics. They have convinced themselves, I'm this person who has all these great traits and characteristics. I don't have to grow and mature myself. Like for some reason in their head, they think they're perfect. I don't have to grow and mature myself emotionally. There's nothing I need to shed. I'm like this perfect, infallible human being. I'm so enamored with myself. I think I have this way of being in the world and shining in the world. And Libra energy, some of you, it doesn't have to even be a Libra you were dealing with, but is how people harness, and you don't have to be a Libra. Just listen to your intuition about how you harness your Libra energy, because we all do, and how other people harness their Libra energy. Some people think it's just and fair, because they maybe think everybody else does it too, to create this illusion about who they are and really be prideful and egotistical and just working together with people, emotionally manipulating people to get what you want. Because that's what they do. And they have a hard time believing that other people really do connect in with their emotions and their intuition, that other people haven't given up on their dreams, that they really do want to be in relationships for love. I would say most people, when they were children, they had hopes and faith and belief in their dreams, but they could have been in, for some of them are just narcissistic, but some of them could have grown up in families where they thought their dreams were going to come into reality with those people, and it was really emotionally confusing, and they were left in regret because some of the people they worked with in a foundation were kind of self-centered, egotistical, defensive to admitting they had lessons to learn, and maybe weren't that, as emotionally nurturing and loving in the relationship as people would have liked. And if some of the very people that they thought would be more, wouldn't be like manipulative and defensive and stubborn and prideful and egotistical and emotionally manipulative to boot, sometimes if some of those people were like that, they've just lost faith. And sadly, instead of being willing to kind of distance themselves from those type of people in their life and not give up on their dreams and put in work and effort within themselves to heal, just because I'm in a foundation or a family group where other people are being defensive or bossy or controlling or whatever, that just says something about who they are and the free will choices they make in their life. It doesn't have to say anything about my worth and value and if I'm deserving of love or not. But sadly, some people did. And now it's like it's kind of like they didn't. We come into contact with all these people to get clear about what their truth is, but we have to be willing to see the truth. Some people did have people in their life or grew up with people who had these shadowy characteristics. But some people don't want to see the truth because they love those people. So then what happens, I think, is that they can have loving people come into their life, but it would have, in order to move forward with those people in a way that's different, the truth is what sets us free. We have to see the truth. How can I work with people who aren't prideful and egotistical, who aren't defensive and manipulative? It kind of wants to make them see the truth about some of the people they worked with in their life. And some people can't see that truth. Like, I'd rather let the loving people go. I know they're going to feel betrayed and they're loving and nurturing people. And I could have had a stable, grounded, and life of my dreams come into reality with them. But some people aren't willing to see the truth. For some people, it would be too, destabilizing. And Libra energy is about trying to maintain balance within yourself. Wouldn't we all see the truth? Wouldn't we all deal with our past pain and heartbreak? Wouldn't we all love and believe in ourselves? But, it takes time. We got to learn lessons in life to learn to love ourselves, believe in ourselves, believe that we deserve love, and to no longer stay in denial about some other people in our life. I mean, we can have the people we grew up with in our life and we can love them and admit, they were kind of bossy and controlling. They were kind of self-centered. They were kind of manipulative. They were kind of full of themselves. But some people, do we have it here? 2, 3, 4. Okay, the 5 of Cups is Scorpio energy. The 5 of Cups, 2, 3, yeah. The 5 of Cups is Scorpio energy. And Scorpio energy can have to do, it's water sign energy. And it can do with the deep emotional connections that we have with people. And some people a long time ago buried their hurt that they could have had from dealing with people like this. And that's why we repeat these patterns, because there's something that we bury deep emotionally. And until we're ready to deal with that truth, we will keep repeating a past pattern. When we're ready, in between the 3 of Cups and the 5 of Cups is the 2 of Cups. When we're ready to believe that we deserve loving, nurturing, supportive relationships, that the people in our past who maybe didn't work together with us in a loving or just or fair manner, that doesn't say something about my worth and value. I deserve to not let negative energy or people who are in negative energy stop me from getting my divine inheritance. I deserve to love me. I don't control anyone else in the world. Everyone else has their own free will. Everyone else has their own dualistic nature. Some people haven't learned to love themselves, so they don't know how to love people. Some people are really manipulated by their own fear and insecurity and ego. What if I was more just and fair? What if they weren't then just, and it can become this control factor. I need to control things in order to make sure things go the way I want. How about letting love and intuition guide you? And when you see other people acting in a shadowy way, you quit working together with them and know your worth and value and speak your truth and distance yourself from them. That basically, if you're going to act in a shadowy, unkind, unloving, unjust, unfair way, well, you can do that, but I'm going to be over here from a place of love, speaking my truth. And if you want to be unjust, unfair, unloving because of your own fear and your own insecurity or whatever, that's fine. You live your life, but I'm going to keep living my life because I'm not going to give up my dreams by someone who got caught up in their fear or their insecurity or their self-centeredness or their ego or their lust or their greed or their more immature, shadowy energies, also jealousy and envy and vengefulness and whatever. Sometimes other people don't like it when other people love and believe in themselves because they haven't healed. Well, why are you more free than I am? Why aren't you enslaved and imprisoned by the same fears and insecurities that I have? Well, because I looked at life from a higher perspective. I worked through my past pain and heartbreak. I was willing to see the truth, and you reject the truth. You maybe haven't been willing to see that you deserve love, that even though people in your past maybe weren't that loving, that you deserve love. We all deserve love. We all deserve to be treated with love and respect and kindness and compassion. But if we want to be treated that way, we should offer that to other people. And that's what true freedom is. I choose to not think when we're children especially, we can feel like the world revolves around us, very kind of self-focused and kind of narcissistic in a way. And we can definitely think that we are the cause for why people do what they do and everybody should want to be in a relationship with us. But we have to get out of our ego and realize that everybody has their own issues and they have how they grew up and they have their own past pain and heartbreak. Some people weren't loving and nurturing to us because of their own issues. Some people, though, get so caught up, for some, I think, in that, well, I am this way of being. People should want to be in a relationship with me. No, they're not going to want to be in a relationship with you. For one, if you're just presenting a facade of who you are and like, oh my gosh, Libra can be like our public politician persona. I'm going to try to go out in the world and not offend anybody. I'm going to try to get along with everyone. Then everybody should want to be my friend. Well, are you being authentically yourself? Are you being loving and nurturing and intuitive and, realizing from a higher perspective? You don't control people. Everybody has free will. Some people can't get out of their ego that they think they should be able to manipulate everyone into loving them. Oh my God, that's like manipulation. Not everyone is going to love you. And the reason they're not is because of their own issues. People who have seen life from a higher perspective that aren't operating from their shadowy energy. So, when they get triggered into envy or jealousy or pettiness or defensiveness, like you seem to have more skills and talents than I do. You seem to have more traits and characteristics than I do. Well, that can trigger them to go into shadowy energy and be defensive to some people just because some of those people have some ways of being about them or, I don't know, got some better breaks in life than they did or something, and they're defensive to them and it triggers their shadowy nature. To truly be free is like, what? The world is going to do what they do with their own free will. I'm going to choose to be free of thinking I control people. I'm not going to be up in my head about people who didn't choose to work together with me. I'm not going to stay in denial of the truth. If my foundation is trying to, in high vibe Virgo energy, be like loving and nurturing and giving and encouraging and supportive to people and look at life from a higher perspective and be like, high vibe Aquarius is like being a humanitarian in the world. I realize that everybody's where they're at in their life. Everybody's different. And I accept people that they are where they are and I don't try to control and manipulate them. I speak my truth. I try to, just treat people the way I would like to be treated. And if those people are defensive to it, then I know my worth and value enough to distance myself from those people. And even though initially it might cause me some inner conflict, with the truth, I can heal, because between the 1 sword and the 5 swords is the 4 of swords of Libra energy. I'm not going to stay in denial of the truth about why some people didn't choose to work with me in the energy of love and move forward in an equally balanced, loving relationship. They might have some of their own issues that they kind of align with their more shadowy nature. This person could have triggered me into my jealousy or envy. This person isn't someone who's more knows their worth and value, that I can't play on their fear and their insecurity and kind of manipulate them to get them to do what I want. And that's how some people operate in relationships. And when they see people who, oh, I can't manipulate you, I can't play on your codependency or whatever, or your lust or your greed or your more immature, indulgent nature, because you've healed and you want to be in relationships with people who walk the talk, because I view the Queen of Pentacles as high vibe Taurus energy. Well, in high vibe is high vibe Taurus energy. Oh, well, no, I don't want to walk the talk because I operate more from my worldly nature. I haven't learned some of the lessons that you've learned. I might try to present myself as someone who walks the talk, but I get triggered into my shadow energy. And high vibe people are like, you know what? I'm going to see the truth. I'm going to heal. It's sad. It would have been nice to have people work together with me, but if not, I'm going to keep moving forward. And the Ten of Wands is Sagittarius energy. It's to wrap your brain around this game of life, because Sagittarius is about higher education and being motivated and inspired to deal with your own fears and insecurities, or self-limiting beliefs, or self-centered nature, or manipulative nature, to want to look at life differently, to be more free in the world, to give and receive love with people. And if they're not people who are free to do that, then you move forward and you keep believing in your dreams and offering love to other people in the world who might believe in their dreams, who might have better boundaries within themselves in Sagittarius energy. Because high vibe Sagittarius of the 9 of Wands would be, I am inspired. If I want to present myself in the world as someone who tries to look at life from a higher perspective, who doesn't get triggered in my ego and whatever, and to try to see things from other people's perspectives, I have good boundaries to stop myself from acting in my shadow nature, being petty and envious and jealous or manipulative or getting in my ego. Like, why am I getting triggered into my ego? Who likes to be triggered into their ego? Why does this person make me feel less than? Why does this person make me feel like, just everybody is where they're at. Is all the best I can explain it. And sadly, some of these other people, because part of it might have been they would have had to speak their truth, and some people could have a lot of inner conflict about speaking their truth, and the thought of moving away from the people in their life, even though those people might emotionally manipulate them and keep them stuck and like that they're stuck and encourage them to maybe align with their more worldly, egoic, petty, envious, jealous, materialistic way of living life. The thought of moving away from those people and those ways of being even within themselves and believing in themselves would require them to take bold, brave, confident action to get out of their ego and to stand up for themselves. From the 2 to the 9 is the 7 of Wands, which is moving out of your ego and letting your ego and your fear and other people in your life manipulate you, to stand up for yourself. And for some people, all of that's a problem. Because if we're aligned with our more either prideful, egotistical, thinking it's just and fair to manipulate people, and thinking maybe we have more than other people, kind of like being snooty or something. Well, sometimes some people really derive a lot of their self-esteem and sense of worth and value by living their life that way, and then excluding other people. It's kind of like a bully club in a way. And you could even kind of look at the people who make their life all about the world and ego and image and money and materialism, even though there really isn't anyone bullying them to do their life like that. They in themselves could feel like the world in their own head, because so much of our life is just based on what we think. What would people say? What if I really went and did the career field that I really loved? What if I hung out with the people I really like, that I find loving and nurturing and supportive, who encourage me to be all I can be? I might know some other people who would have a problem with that. They could have people in their life that they work with that think they should look to them for guidance. Don't listen to your intuition. No, I think these people could hurt you. I don't think you should get that job. I don't think you should go to college for that. No, you should listen to me. And then some people are sad that they listen to those people, but they're still unwilling to see the truth, because some of those people they do look up to and admire. And instead of listening to their intuition and speaking their truth, they defer to these people, and they'll keep doing that until, some of them forever, others until they feel so stuck and kind of realize that maybe those people don't have their best interest. So the whole thing is, when we align with our why, we can't blame the people who they're just responsible for their own actions. Oops, got an alarm on my phone. We shouldn't blame the people that could be people in the lives of people that we wish would move forward with us. Even if it's a third party, it helped illuminate us to the truth. People who don't kind of align with that way of thinking anyway, it was just maybe kind of waiting, and the divine wanted you to see the truth because you were maybe not seeing the truth, that you were working with some people who really aren't on the same page as you, but you had fear of moving away from them, and you really wanted the dream to come into reality, and you thought it would work, but there was some truth you weren't seeing because you didn't want to see the truth, because that would mean you'd have to turn your back on those people and move away from those people. Well, they have people in their life too, that they don't want to detach from. And that's the thing. We have to be willing to detach from one to align with enlightenment and looking at life from a higher perspective. We have to quit being manipulated by our mind and our fear and our insecurity and our more worldly, immature, indulgent nature of can't I do whatever the hell I want? And there really is no consequences so long as I can deceive people about the truth of why I do what I do. So long as people don't know the truth, can't I live my life the way I want? It's like, you can, but there are consequences for your actions. Eventually, when people keep presenting themselves as being one way in the world, but then their actions seem to be contrary to that, where it's like, gee, it seemed like, you seem to present yourself as a stable, grounded, insightful, emotionally nurturing, truthful person, that you're not prideful, you're not egotistical, blah, blah, blah. And then you get in relationships with people who you could have that dream come into reality with, and then you become defensive to them. Why did you become defensive to them? And the Seven of Swords can be people who try to create an illusion because they don't want people to know the truth about why they didn't move forward with those people. And part of the reason they didn't want to move forward with those people is because people were no longer indulging them in their illusions of who they are. You try to present yourself as being this type of person in the world, but that's not the truth of who you are. You try to emotionally manipulate people to get what you want. You could be egotistical and self-centered and think it's all about you, but you don't want to see the truth. Or you act in those ways because of past pain and heartbreak that you haven't dealt with. And because of that, you might act in these ways because you're so defensive of seeing the truth or dealing with the truth that you become and act like that in a relationship with people to try to get them to keep staying in a relationship with you, because you might want to be in a relationship with them, but you don't want to deal with those issues and you want them to stay stuck with you. So, well, they're in a little bit of hell of their own, things that they don't deal with, maybe people in their life who kind of manipulate and control them, or just their more immature, egotistical, prideful, self-centered, materialistic nature. Eventually, other people became illuminated to the truth and people moved away from them. And eventually, other people in their life will maybe turn their back on them and be sad because they weren't really who they said they were, and eventually, you can hide the truth from some of the people some of the time, but you can't hide the truth from all the people all the time. And eventually, other people realize that, you're not who you said you were. The 10 of Pentacles can be, I am firmly entrenched in my worldly nature. Either it's all about me, and I don't really give a damn. The 5 of Swords is, I want to win at all costs. And if there's someone that I could go get in a relationship with who has the money and the status and all the things of the world I want, and something happened in their life where they're sad, a dream didn't come into reality, because the Queen of Swords can talk about someone who feels betrayed. Well, someone else is like, hey, yeah, I'll come get in a relationship with you. I really kind of want to win at all costs in my Aquarius energy. I don't want to move forward with those people who might have less money, or where I'd have to detach from my more worldly view of life. I have mental conflict about seeing the truth. Because the 5 of Pentacles lets go of the 4 of Pentacles, which is holding on to an old way of being. And some people have a lot of mental conflict of letting go of this, maybe just a more worldly or materialistic view of life, or egoic way of life. And they were in relationships with people who were letting go of that to make life about being more free from your ego, to live your authentic life. Oops, well, that one came there, And they're like, I'm willing to betray those people. Those people have wrapped their brain around this game of life. Those people have offered love, to have good boundaries, to believe in their dreams, and they're moving forward believing in their dreams and believing they can manifest their dreams into reality. And I don't believe that about myself. So yeah, I'll betray those people to come get in a relationship with you. I'll create an illusion about why I left those people to come get in a relationship with you. And eventually, other people figure out the truth that someone isn't who they said they were. It'd be one thing if people want to speak the truth. But if people were in relationships with loving, nurturing, supportive, encouraging people, that can be hard to want to tell your truth. Well, this person has more money, and I'm going to go get in a relationship with them. So for some of you, that's what happened. And I think some of those people are going to go do that, and they're going to end up in regret, because it wasn't based on truth. It was based on a lie, or not acting with character and integrity. And some of the people they went to go get in a relationship with were manipulating them. I just wanted you to come get in a relationship with me, and leave those people. I have a mental conflict about those people. I wanted you to come get in a relationship with me. Once you did and you boosted my ego, yeah, no, I'm not interested in marrying you because I just want to win at all costs. And it was about me getting my ego boost. And sorry, gotta leave. Go find someone else who's defensive or defending something and see if I can get them to pick me to boost my ego. And then that person will leave behind some loving people. But the whole thing is, we could get mad at the people who could be in the lives of people that we know. But those people is kind of like, shadowy energies represented by the devil. And if God knows the hearts of some people in our life, we just weren't seeing the truth. And some of them didn't even want to see the truth of what was in their heart. They basically get tempted. And some of those people could have been tempted. They could have seen, well, I don't think loving people wouldn't leave a loving relationship. Well, they could leave a loving relationship to go towards someone else who's loving if that person represent some unhealed issues within themselves. And I don't think that relationship's maybe going to end up well either, because the whole thing was there was some truth they were seeing. Loving people shouldn't leave loving people who are just and fair and nurturing and supportive. We leave loving, nurturing people because we either reject love and we don't align with that within ourselves, and we can stay in the relationship for a long time, but the divine knows when the loving people are ready to really shine their light in the world, being authentically themselves, these other people are going to try to do things and probably have already been doing things in the relationship to manipulate and confuse you and make you sad to stop you from doing that, because they don't want you to take action in truth because they're defensive to that. They might want to just be people who more conform to the world, being manipulated by the world. Don't shine your authentic light. Don't authentically be who you really are. Don't step outside the box. Don't step outside of societal norms. I'm more comfortable living within societal norms, And it reminds me of that Bible verse. Don't be conformed to this world, but be renewed. But be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And some people are all about being manipulated by the world. And can't we just make our life about ego and image? And yeah, we might feel stuck. And yeah, we might not be doing all the things that we could do, or really be like a healing, enlightened source in the world to help other people heal or whatever. No, let's not do that. Let's just conform to the world. And the divine knew that this person could be tempted by other people because they were really kind of more aligned with that way of being anyway. And that's fine. Different strokes for different folks. People have free will. But if they're not someone who's truly on the same page as you, the divine just use those people to get that person to make them make a decision that they hadn't also been wanting to make a decision. And it's like, it's coming down to where a decision has to be made. Are you taking this path of truth and love and speaking your truth and listening to your intuition, or are you still going to let your fear and your insecurity and your more immaturity or lustful or greedy or whatever nature run your life? And those people came into those people's life to get them to go learn the lesson they meant to learn. That's why there's a key on either side. Nothing's wasted. It's just that if you haven't learned the lesson to move forward differently, you shouldn't be in a relationship with people who are ready to move forward differently. You need to go get in some relationships with some people who are on the same page as you, to get clear about your truth. And if that's where you want to keep living your life, then keep living your life there. If you realize, oh, I guess I have been here and I have done this and there's nothing new to learn here. Yeah, I am ready. Okay, well then, speak your truth and live your life differently. Let's go look else up where here. Well, that one really took off. We have the Knight of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the King of Cups. So some people were presenting themselves as like being more balanced than they maybe were, but they were hiding the fact that maybe they're kind of immature and have some lessons to learn in shadowy Sagittarius, in their own shadowy Sagittarius energy, and kind of being an immature player in a relationship. Like, oh, if I get in a relationship with you and you're loving and nurturing, and maybe I'm not quite aligned with that, but I want to be in relationships with people who are like that. And I think I can manipulate you into thinking I'm like that too. But really, I'm kind of maybe sexually indulging myself in the relationship because I have a lot of stress about really taking action in truth and love. And while I'm in the relationship with you and I know I'm wearing this false mask that I don't want you to see, and I'm really trying to control you, mentally strategize how to be in a relationship with someone who's being authentic and loving, and I know I'm not. And I'm really fearful that one day you're going to see the truth. And that it's annoying, right? That whole time they were in a relationship, maybe being, for some, being fearful and afraid that you would be enlightened to the truth that they're not who they say they are, that they have all these unresolved issues within them. They could have been putting in work and effort to deal with those issues, to really become the person who they try to profess themselves to be. But instead, they turned their back on dealing with their issues and thought, no, 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 no. I think I can manipulate this whole situation to go in my favor. And I'm just going to keep indulging in it for as long as it works out. And if they ever see the truth, I would have to speak my truth. I'd have to emotionally grow and mature myself. I'd have to deal with my own mental conflict and my own past pain and heartbreak, and that seems overwhelming. I'll just leave and go try to find someone else to manipulate who doesn't know the truth of who I am. And I'll go take my act and show on the road. And for some of you, you did get in a situation. The only thing is they could have thought you were like them and that you were kind of hiding, that you're kind of immature and really stressed about love. And they could have thought you were just like them. Because I do think we tend to view other people as being like ourself. And they thought you were caught up maybe in the illusion of the world and the image and the status and blah, 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 and that you emotionally manipulate people and you have a lot of fear of believing in yourself and dealing with your past pain and heartbreak, and that you ignore the truth that it's supposed to be about love, and they thought the relationship could last forever. But what they didn't know about you is you are motivated and inspired to deal with your fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs, because in order to feel at peace within yourself, in your Libra energy, it's about loving yourself and believing in yourself and believing in your dreams, and being tipped out of balance into your shadow energy and just presenting a false front causes you a lot of mental conflict. It might cause those people a lot of mental conflict too, but they keep going with it anyway because they don't want to deal with the truth. Here they had the mental conflict and it's like, no. Let's go back and do things the way we've been doing it. I think that's the best idea. Let's align with our more emotionally worldly nature and be defensive to growing and maturing ourselves and defend the way we've been living life. Because otherwise, from the 5 of Swords to the 3 of Swords, we'd have to quit being in denial of the truth. We'd have to see the truth. Why don't I move forward in my life? Why don't I believe in my dreams? Why don't I stand up for myself? Why don't I have better boundaries to my more fearful, insecure, prideful, egotistical, immature, indulgent nature and stand up and defend my dreams? Why do I always give in to getting caught up in my mind and letting my mind or my ego run my life? Why don't I detach from that way of being and believe in my dreams and believe I can manifest my dreams into reality? You know, you did do that. They didn't think you would do that. They thought you'd have so much mental conflict about maybe detaching from them, from this, from the world, from everything that you had that looked victorious, or just to deal with your past pain and heartbreak. But you did it, and you became enlightened to the truth. And when you were no longer aligning with those ways of being within yourself, that maybe I could have gotten in relationships because I hadn't learned to love myself. Maybe I got in some relationships because I hadn't dealt with my own past pain and heartbreak. Maybe I got in some relationships because I hadn't learned to stand up and defend myself or love myself and believe in myself and believe in my dreams. And then we get in these jobs and relationships and situations that really make us do this work within myself. Like, gosh, am I going to stay in this job where these people aren't who they said they were? Do I believe I can go get a different job? And the more we go keep facing our fears and insecurities, the more we listen and feel more confident within ourselves. Some of these people have never stepped out of their comfort zone and been their authentic self in the world and faced their fears and insecurities. So yeah, you're like, for some of them, you're like this complete like alien life form. Like, who the hell are you? I've never known anybody who dealt with this shit. We all live this life of illusion. None of us deal with our fears and insecurities. We all wear this false mask and get in jobs and relationships, and we stay stuck because we're unwilling to deal with our issues that prevent us from believing we deserve to have our dreams come into reality. I'm settling for maybe being in a job or relationship where it looks by worldly standards like I have it all. I have the money, the status, the power, I might be in a relationship, blah, blah, blah. But I'm working with people who aren't treating me in a truthful, just, fair, authentic, loving way. And some people are really shadowy, and they count on that. And it is all hoping. I bet if I get in a relationship with them, and if I have this image and status about who I am, I bet if I get in a relationship with them, might feel stuck. I don't care. And I bet they'll defend me because we have those things in the world. It's kind of like people aligning with the devil, holding their sword up to the divine, who's trying to emotionally nurture people to be willing to speak their truth and deal with their mental conflict. To see the truth that you are moving forward in something that will feel overwhelming. Because they're wanting to emotionally invest in you only as long as you stay defensive to your dreams and listening to your intuition, where they can indulge in a relationship with you because you are defensive of getting a different job or finding a new friend or getting in a different romantic relationship. Perfect, they're staying. Let's not give them a raise for the next 10 years. They're too afraid to go get another job. Let's treat them like shit. Let's leave them out in the cold. Let's emotionally confuse them. Basically, it will get worse before it gets better because other people who are in shadowy energy aren't operating from truth and love. They've got their own lessons to learn. We go get in relationships with people like that, and if we didn't choose truth and love and justice and fairness and balance and to align with that within ourselves and be in relationships with other people who are like that, we just got in a relationship and the devil came into our life to teach us a hard lesson. You're on the wrong path. This hurts. They're leaving you out in the cold. They're emotionally confusing you. They're manipulating you. But the devil will keep indulging in a relationship with you for as long as you let them. And some of you already let go of being in relationships like this because you've been enlightened to the truth. What other people don't know about you is that you have been inspired to work through your fears and insecurities, to take action in love and offer love to other people to see the truth. There might be someone you could have communicated with, or a lot of people, even in your past, that you think might be stuck, to see if they would want to go on this journey with you. And some of those people are dealing with all their mental conflict about, am I willing to speak my truth? Or am I going to keep being manipulated and I'm sad? Or they're one of the people who like to manipulate and control people, and they're sad that you've seen the truth about people like them. And maybe before you didn't really see the truth, but by you living your life like this, some of those people could feel like, if that's how they're used to being in relationships, they realize they can't be in a relationship with you either. And some of the people who thought, I know, I can manipulate you and make you sad, and I can leave you out in the cold, and I'll go get in a relationship with someone else, and I bet you will love and believe in yourself, and eventually you'll come back and want to be in a relationship with me. For some of those people, yeah, you're not communicating with them. And now some of those people are sad because the risks they took in a relationship to be deceptive and manipulative and not truthful and honest didn't work out the way they thought, because now you see the truth that they did take action that wasn't truthful and just and fair and acting with character and integrity. And you see that they operate trying to manipulate and control people. And who wants to be in relationships with people who try to manipulate and control people? And I think some of those people, they're going to have to settle for someone else in the world and maybe defend the decision they made, and maybe be in a relationship with someone who makes them feel defensive, because that person's defensive. And nobody wants to speak the truth. Nobody probably wants to be just and fair and loving, because maybe some of the people that they go to get in a relationship with are all about the money and the materialism and the status and image anyway, which is what these people may be aligned with to begin with. Or if they're just a more fearful or self-centered person, they might get in a relationship with someone else who's more fearful and self-centered too. So we have two people that nobody's willing to put work and effort into looking at life from a higher perspective. And it's all to try to get them to see the truth. So let's see what's coming up for the people who really do harness high vibe Libra energy, whatever zodiac sun sign you are. I think your dreams are going to come into reality because you have learned that if you take action out of pride, ego, fear, codependency, whatever, it's not going to work out the way you think it will. So you have learned, even though you might feel kind of stuck right now, let's look what's under there. When the divine has us feeling stuck, it's because we need to expand our perception of ourself and what we believe is possible. And when we think things are possible, they are possible. When we don't think things are possible, it's like they're not possible. And right now, we could be letting the divine guide us. And when our intuition tells us it's time to take that leap of faith, to give birth to something new, we will have our dreams come into reality. And when we're not taking action out of pride and ego and trying to manipulate and control people, other people see that we are operating from truth and clarity and love. And those people might not keep moving forward with what they had been moving forward with. People who might have had money, who might have been bossy or controlling, that it seemed like their dreams were going to come into reality, but it was more an illusion. And those people are going to want to work with you to really give birth to what is truly loving and nurturing. And, you help illuminate what other people are kind of involved in. Okay, what's coming up for the people who harness? So you're aware that some people harness shadowy Aries, Libra, Taurus, Pisces, Aries, and you're illuminating that if people really want their dreams to come into reality, and they harness shadowy Pisces, Aquarius, and shadowy Sag, shadowy Gemini, shadowy Cancer. That if people really want their dreams to come into reality, they need to do this work, to look at life from a higher perspective, to work through all their fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs, to be willing to love themselves and expand their perception of themselves and how they view themselves and the world and relationships, to be bold and brave enough to align with like life-giving energy, and that's when their dreams can come into reality. What's coming up for the people who harness high vibe Libra? Well, oh my gosh, I guess they didn't show themselves, but the reason is because of the Wheel of Fortune. High vibe people are going with the flow. They're not, God, this is taking too long. Give me the damn steering wheel. They're listening to their intuition to guide them. And the divine is saying, keep going with the flow, keep putting in this work and effort, keep working through your own fears and insecurities, keep offering being loving and nurturing and supportive to people in the world. Trust that this is the way, that the other way isn't the way. And probably doing the work within yourself behind the scenes. Having good boundaries, to listen to your intuition, to put in work and effort, and be careful about what you invest your time, energy, and effort into, because there will be other people who in shadowy energy want to work with you, but the reason they want to work with you is because they think your dreams are going to come into reality. And they're defensive of listening to their intuition and putting in work and effort to do the work you've done. So they just want to ride with, basically. And there's going to be other people who want to work with you, to stand up and defend you, because they have done this work within themselves also. And they're inspired and motivated by you and the work that you've done, and that they have done that work too, to stand up for themselves, to not be manipulated by their ego and their fear and their insecurities and their lust and their greed. And all of this is going on behind the scenes. Keep going with the flow. What's coming up for the people who harness some more shadowy Libra energy that they don't see coming? Well, I think they're going to learn some hard lessons, because there's some truths that they don't want to see or reveal. Pride comes before the fall. We all made mistakes, and we're all going to make more mistakes. We're all like little children learning to walk. At what time, did we ever see a toddler really who ran into a wall, hit their head on the corner, learning to walk? That's like, no, that's it, I'm done. When did we lose our inspiration to face our fears and insecurities to get back up? Little children never did that, but as adults, we can free willingly say, no, I'm not doing it. I could get hurt. I'm just going to live my life like this. It's like, okay, that's going to be like, how great a life would a little toddler who gave up to trying to walk anymore because they fell down and got hurt? How great a life are they going to have? Probably not very great. So what they don't see coming is the Queen of Swords and the Fool, because of the Page of Wands in reverse. Well, for some, they could think, I know, if the person I went to go get in a relationship, that didn't work out, and it maybe didn't work out because I wasn't willing to tell them the truth about why a different relationship didn't work out, and they could have been intuitive that I wasn't telling them the truth, but I can't tell them the truth because the whole reason was because I didn't want to grow up and mature myself, or I'm kind of bossy and controlling and self-centered, or I'm much more materialistically driven, and you had money. Now, I couldn't tell them that truth. And so the people they could have wanted to get in a relationship were defensive to being in a relationship with them. So some of those people are thinking, I know, I can go back to the loving people. I bet they're still sad and up in their head. Well, if some of those people think they're going to come towards you in the Fool card, oh, the people with the money and all that stuff that I thought it was going to work out with, it didn't, so now I want to come back to you. You're stuck, right? You're in your ego, right? Some of those people are going to like, I might not be doing the things in life that you would think I would be doing, Maybe for some of you, you're not in a new relationship yet. And so they think, oh, they must still feel betrayed. Perfect. I'll go back and get in a relationship with them. And I think you high vibe people are going to hold up your sword to them. It's like, no, I'm not interested in having a new beginning with you because you haven't done any of the work within yourself and you're the same old person you were and you're still immature. And the other thing they might not see coming is because they're more aligned with the world. Yeah, they're going to have some people come towards them. Oh, look at all those things of the world that you have that you think, you can use to manipulate and deceive people. Perfect. I want to play. I want those things that you have. The only thing is, the people that might come towards them might not have that hopeful, believing, loving nature. And it's more about them, because Aries energy in shadow is all about the self. I want the money and the status and the image. And the whole thing is, this person's thinking, oh, I can emotionally manipulate you. But this person maybe doesn't take any creative, inspired action in a relationship. Maybe, possibly, won't have sex with someone. Maybe until they make them their partner or a marriage partner. And this person might think, well, I want the money that you have too, just like you want what I have. But am I willing to be in a relationship with someone who maybe doesn't have that loving, hopeful, believing nature about them? I mean, I know I don't have it, but it's nice to be in a relationship with people who have it. But with you, I'd have the money and the status and the image. Some of those people might stay in it just because of those reasons. And it would make them look like their dreams come into reality. But I think they're going to end up feeling heartbroken and overwhelmed that they should have invested in the people who had good boundaries and believed in their dreams, because instead they invested in people who are defensive and could be all about themselves, and they feel left out in the cold and emotionally confused and manipulated. Yes, because you were manipulated with those same things within yourself. That's what you went and aligned with, and that's who you chose to work with in the world. Because you can't keep working with the loving, just, and fair people if you're not a loving, just, and fair person. So you have to go work with the people who are on the same page as you are. And until you get tired of that and quit being in denial of the truth and speak your truth and have some hope and faith and belief that there's got to be more to life than this. It's just that some people had this way of living life and they wanted the loving people in their life to make their life about those things too, and not like grow and mature yourself and be yourself in the world, just settle for the illusion of everything's great and wonderful and I'll have sex with you and blah, 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 and want to be great. But it's just that you felt stuck in it because it just was never growing and maturing itself. Well, now they're probably going to get in a relationship where it feels that way. And then it's like, well, now the shoe's on the other foot. What goes around comes around. How do you like being in a relationship with people who act like you act in a relationship? Might be manipulative and self-centered and egotistical and have their issues of the past that they haven't dealt with. But then they don't want to be truthful. They just want to be defensive, and you're just supposed to keep investing in them anyway. And even though it causes you mental conflict, you don't want to leave it because of the image and the status. And you keep putting in a lot of work and effort to try to get them to work together cooperatively with you, but they keep being defensive. Well, how do you like being in a relationship with someone like you? And I think you high vibe people, you can't be in a relationship with people who are like that. If they haven't done this work within themselves, you're going to give birth to something new with other people who have done the work within themselves to be on the same page as you. And you'll be happy because you are facing your fears and going to the next level of life, and the other people will feel stuck maybe in their ego because they were unwilling to look at life from any other perspective. So there you go. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.